Hey guys, Westy here. Just wanted to go through a couple of upgrades that I've done that'll greatly improve the performance, well, most of them in performance. First upgrade I did was I printed this tray to hold all tools like feeler blades and screwdrivers and bits and pieces. Second upgrade I did was basically make this new roller for putting your roll on. Just get that out of the way. And that just sits on there and it rolls really smoothly. You notice that the original, it just binds on the actual piece of plastic that you sit the roller on, and it sits there and it gets all tight. So that's actually a performance upgrade because it makes a big difference to the pulling tension on the extruder. So I've removed the extruder. This is the Ender 3 Pro. I've removed the extruder and the bottom tube completely because it's just, they're problematic. The design's crap. They should have they should have at least put Capricorn tube in there that's rated at 300 degrees. Excuse me. So at least you wouldn't have had the problems with the slipping Bowden tube creating all sorts of dramas with your prints. So my next upgrade was, and I've done these together, was I converted to an OMG ExtRD extruder, direct drive extruder. Great extruder. It's got twin gears, so it's got twin drive, one at the top and one at the bottom, and you've just got to change your E-steps. Pretty simple to set up. And the other thing I changed is the heat brake that comes, the standard heat brake that comes in the Ender 3 is not orifaced. It's actually just a straight through. This one's orifaced, and it's also a bimetallic setup. So it's got a titanium insert at the hot end, and then the which is a slower releaser of heat, and and it heats up pretty quick. And the external part is copper, and that actually is up in the hot where the heat's trying to actually get cooled, so that dissipates the heat quickly. And so the heat doesn't transfer up into this area here. This is actually, the extruder is quite cool too because it's got some fins, cooling fins on the riser coming up that's exposed. Even though it's not anywhere near the fan, there's probably still there's a fair bit of draft coming up there, so that actually would cool quite well. So I've just basically, what I've done is I took this all apart and changed the heat break out of the heater block and the cooler block, and what I did, so it's orifaced, so the actual orifice size suits your 1.75 filament. But the beauty of this is it controls the temperature, it dissipates the heat off real quick, and it doesn't allow the heat to transfer up, and you don't get any issues with your extruder, with your retraction, or having your filament cooling off too fast and it jamming part way in the system from here down to the hot head. The hot end. So it actually took me, it's taken me all morning to set this all up and get it all running and tidy up all the cabling and stuff. But actual configuration wise, I just had to change the E-steps. Once I actually heated it up and then closed up the hot end nozzle, then I just reset my Z-axis zero height, and then I just dropped the bed fraction to just to make sure it was all good. and it runs really good. I actually did a twin tower retraction test, and it came out absolutely perfect. No stringing at all, which is great. That's because I've cut my my retraction down to 26, I believe it is, from 47. And then I just changed the E-steps in the software here for this motor to 690, I think it was. Let's see if I can find it. Advanced settings, steps, E-step 760. So I changed that to 760. And it's actually going really well. So this will actually give me the ability to work with TPU, PETG, all the hotter stuff, the carbon fiber, and because it's got the dual gear, it gives it way more pulling power to pull the filament through, and so you can go fast retraction and fast forward as well. So it does have a little bit of Capricorn tube in here, because I noticed that when I was trying to insert it without it, it was jamming, and that's because there's a little bit of free space between the outlet here. Even though this is orifice, it's good that you don't put any of the Bowden tube couplers or anything in. This has got an orifice in here. So there's three things that you need to make if you're going to get one of these OMG direct drives. Three things I noticed. One, orientation. You need to make sure the orientation is like so, with the writing to the right hand side. If you have it on the other way up, your feed, it's going to be reversed on your feed, which you can change in the software if you wish, but it's just easier to install it the right way up, and that will basically feed when you do a test feed through by going into your configuration, advanced settings, and then your steps, and then go to what am I doing? Go back, go to motion, move axis, and so you can move extruder here and basically pump some filament through 10 mil or something, and that will test to make sure it's going the right way. If you need to add negative amount, then you excuse me, you've installed this the wrong way up, so you just have to flip it over. So make sure the writing's on the right hand side. Long story short, make sure you don't put because you get a lot of spare parts in these kits. So that's the kit there. And here's the heat brake. Oh, where is that? Oh, there. Here's the heat brake here. It's got a titanium insert with a copper top orifice, and there's a little step down, and that's where I was getting a jam. So basically what I did is I put a piece of Capricorn tube between that step there up to the top of here, where it comes out of the extruder on the bottom. So that way I've got an orifice all the way through to the top of the of this part here. So that was just one little challenge I had to fix. The other thing is make sure you use these spaces here, because you get a lot of spare parts and stuff, because that's got to get you above the bracket. If you leave it too short, you can't put it in. It just doesn't work. Oh, actually, I guess you could, but your motor would be facing you, so you could drop it right down, but your motor would be facing out to the front, which doesn't look as tidy, I don't think. But yeah, you could do that. Run the shorter parts if you want to. Yeah, so that's all I've found, and it's actually running really, really well. I've done a couple of test cubes. I've done the twin tower retraction test, and yeah, it goes mint. So I'll be able to play with some TPU now, and I'll be able to play with some PETG it'll basically run anything the more expensive units run. And the Capricorn tube was $20 New Zealand for a meter. The heat breaks, I actually bought 4 of those. I bought a pack of 2 and got 2 lots, and I think it was like $5 each, $5 a pair. And that's pretty much it. It was it was more of a research thing, and because I don't know anybody that's done it. One thing I did notice is I didn't have to worry about adjusting the PID, auto-tuning the PID, which is when your temperature fluctuates too far above and below the set point. At the moment I haven't got anything set, but normally I'd set it for, on this particular stuff, works pretty good at 210. Any cooler and it starts playing up, so might even be better at 205. Excuse me. And yeah, so if you have any issues by changing to a direct drive or changing your hot end, etc., yeah, you will have to do that. But just make sure that you do have to reset your bed height or your Z-axis 0 point first, once you've installed it all, because you do have to preheat the leave the nozzle out at one turn with the fan and the cover off, and then preheat it to 220 or whatever, 210, and then tighten it up so that it's nice and tight. Otherwise it starts flopping around. So get that all sorted and you'll be sweet as. And then once you've got that set, let it cool down. I just put the fan over the top and turn it off, and then turn it back on again, and the fan cools the thing rapidly down to about 50 degrees, 55 degrees. Then you can start working with it again and setting up your tramming, etc. But yeah, no, it's actually going really well. I'm happy with it. So I'm now gonna do my first bigger print with this. This is just PLA. I've got a few parts that I need to make up, but this roller system's really good. It just basically pulls it as fast as it wants. It's great. And now it's directly down into the extruder, which is perfect. So as you can see, there's just a little orifice collar that screws into the top, and that so you don't have any of these push locks or anything like that. Excuse me. So yes, very happy. And it wasn't very expensive. I think that this here was, I can't remember what it was, something like $60-70 or something. Well worth it. So now you've got the performance and the material that you can print of a $1,500 machine, pretty much, for about 120, for 120 bucks. So yeah, definitely worth the effort. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Westy over and out.